You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want: unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherlands calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa. All right, good evening, good evening, good evening. If you're watching me, we are live on Pan-African Daily today. And this breaking news, of course, it's actually trending on Pan-African Daily TV Facebook page about the end result of the South African election 2024. And as we heard last time, we didn't know how the coalitions are going to be formed. And today is very clear that the ANC has formed a unity government with the Democratic Alliance of Mr. SteenhuiseN. And currently, the parliament is nominating parliamentarians that have to take South Africa. And Africans are very, very devastated about this news, as most South Africans and also Africans worldwide are asking the question, is apartheid coming back to South Africa? A lot of South Africans are asking, or really dissatisfied with the outcome. And most of them are actually saying, oh, did Mandela just wasted his 27 years in prison? And so we want to get your feedback on this. First of all, I want to apologize on the fact that we've been trying to connect to Al Farouk Wahab, but they're light out in Ghana right now. So Farouk is not going to be able to make it with us tonight, but tomorrow as well. So, but I'll be expecting Professor James Small to join me in 30 minutes. And within this space of time, I want to get your impression and your feedback on the situation in South Africa. Do you think that this unity government between His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa and the government of Mr. Steenhuisen of the Democratic Alliance would form a better coalition to unify and to rule South Africa? I want to hear what your impressions are. Like I said, on Pan-African Daily TV, when we break the news today, it was really like, you know, how could Mr. Mandela fought for South Africa's liberation, for the people of South Africa who are actually Black Africans, to be able to take their land into their hands and rule it the way they want, to the satisfaction of their citizens. And some other critics are saying probably it's because democracy doesn't work for Africa. So it doesn't matter whether who was ruling South Africa, but democracy is not really working. Others are actually saying this is a mess for South Africa because they've never seen any European country or Western country where a Black person is actually being in, as a vice president of that country. But I think, if you go into your Asian history, now we have Black politicians everywhere. Probably maybe one day that will happen. But South Africans are saying, no, that has never happened, should not happen, because of the experiences that we had. So I want to hear your impressions about this and your vision about that. And what future do you think South Africans are going to experience with this unity government? And the one important thing that we heard, the statement of the president of the Democratic Alliance leader, Mr. John Steenhuisen, said, the deal was a new chapter in our history. Do South Africans believe this new chapter of, both Cyril Ramaphosa and I think most of it is actually coming from colorism, from the fact that Africans are saying, no, we are on the continent of Africa, we are Africans, we are able to rule and to lead our countries. How come that, we're having this kind of ping pong and getting, foreigners who are actually inhabitants of our land to become, maybe just in a short time, the president of South Africa could become a white person. So I want to hear your comments in the box here in the chat box, but you can also call, because I think this is an open call session, because like I said, Africans are broken. They are really disappointed in South Africa. Of course, a lot of people are saying, some other African countries like Nigeria and the others are saying South Africans get what they deserve, because it's almost like, they supported South Africa in actually the fight for the liberation of South Africa, just like the other, African countries. But then when it was time for them to be accommodated, like Zimbabwe and the others, South Africans were busy xenophobing. So those are comments and feedbacks that are coming up. But honestly, I think a lot is really disappointing. Most South Africans are disappointed to the fact that they had hoped that Mr. Julius Malema, Honorable Julius Malema, was going to actually score the lead from all the campaigns he was doing, from the mobilizations we're doing, from the beautiful pictures of how, the A and the EFF actually, could fill a whole stadium. So they were so surprised to find that kind of little turnout, or the votes that lead to that 9% that could have made something. But of course, South Africans are also divided in the political polls, because actually, if ANC had united on the common vision of a unity, or unified South Africa, it wouldn't have been what we're seeing, the partitions and the multi-partisan in that same ANC that used to be a one and a strong one that kicked out actually apartheid out from South Africa. So how come that His Excellency, former president of South Africa, Zuma, would have to create his own party as a sub-party of the ANC? So all these three coalitions is what Africans are asking and thinking, what is the way forward for South Africa? They actually are not seeing any better future to say, yes, though the government made statistics of the higher crime rate, the waves in South Africa, the rate of crimes, the rate of economic imbalance, there are no job creations, and that South Africans have become even more poorer under the leadership of ANC, or under the leadership, its present leadership, and the former one. So they are not really sure, from what I see, from what I read, from what we're going through, like they actually are not sure what is going to happen now. But of course, I do also think that some South African thinks this is a better way for them. This is a better way. This is a combination that we never had. After all, we are a rainbow nation. And we are a rainbow nation who tells you that a white South African cannot rule South Africa. You still have some of them that said in the comment, yes, we think this is a good idea. I love it because, let me see, the boss said here, he goes under the name of the boss. He said, I don't understand why people from African countries are so concerned and worried about what South Africans do in their country. South Africa has been led by the ANC for years, but the corruption is higher. Okay? Most African countries that are led by Black leaders are trash with no employment. Zimbabweans, Nigerians, Ethiopians, Mozambicans are led by Black governments, but their people are here in South Africa suffering on the streets, staying in shacks and working for white people. Look, Zimbabwe is led by a Black government, but nothing is going good there. Even their national team plays home games in Rwanda. If you guys can focus on fixing your countries and forget about South Africa, the whole of Africa will be better. South Africa is far better than most African countries, and we are not bothered of what is happening in other African countries. Yet people are so concerned about South African affairs. People of South Africa voted for DA and MK because they want to change, unlike Zimbabwe and other African countries who have been led by one government ever since. They are not even allowed to vote. So like I said, there are also opinions in South Africa that are saying, but is this the spirit of Pan-Africanism that we want to build? If that's the point, so why are we even talking about Africa unity? Why are we talking about Africa by Africans for Africa? Why are we seeing the idea of saying when we have a common ideology, just like the United States of Africa, of America. So I guess such a person would like, yeah, I mean, the 54 states of America are not functioning, or the 50 states are not functioning because they have a one government system, even though, it has its own challenges. So I think the spirit of South Africa is still a little bit not actually the dream that the Africans fought for. Some, but majority of South Africans are actually in line with the fact that this was a big mistake. Like Mr. Don Lego said, this is a sad day for South Africa. Instead of moving forward, you are moving backwards. We're moving backward. And Lama said, people of South Africa should put their trust in EFF. It's the only way forward to liberate the country, right? And Mselo Tetelo said ANC will never recover in sustaining its majority government. DA will outshine them, and DA will be recognized as a working party because they will now achieve what ANC has been failing along. Coming next election, whites will rule South Africa once again. So that's the conversation we want to have here with you, my people. I'm just waiting on Professor James to join us, I think, in the next 15 minutes to share his opinion. And then tomorrow we're going to get Al Wahab. Like I said, he was supposed to be here. He was already here, and light just went off, just like it happened with me. And that's one of the challenges that we are facing in Africa today. So if South Africans saying we actually voted and you believe them that that's what we want, then that is fine. I mean, like CS is saying, I want to welcome all of you in the chat, and I see you. Thank you, Paula. Kumesi Akwa Bantu. Greetings, Queen. Greetings to you. He said, if South Africans are happy with the new arrangement, then it's fine. Um, so we don't know what is happening, but we are here actually not just to leave South Africans in the hands of South Africans. Okay, we coming with the energy of the renaissance of a one Africa. We're coming with a renaissance exactly of a continent that is people driven, and so every other African has a right, of course, a voice to speak, because we speak as brothers and sisters. If it's not going good, or I see already danger, or maybe it's a way forward that is good, let us talk about it. Let us unify the idea, and not maybe, I know it's frustrating for those that had hoped to see a coalition between MK and ANC and EFF, right? And I mean, just to keep South Africa black leadership. I understand, we do understand that. But I also do understand the people that are saying, hey, we're living in a liberal system. If any coalition would be able to better the lives of the citizens of South Africa, so be it. If we're going to get our crime waves reduced, if we're not going to be infiltrated, but also a unique neutral opinion that I find a little bit, I'm still actually like thinking on that, like, oh my God, I never even thought that. That's a comment that made what I want to say. That's a comment that made mention of the fact that actually ANC will never be stable in as much as the black leadership occupies that position, because the enemies of Africa that even invaded Africa would never want to see them unite. So they would never want to see any ANC led visionary rule South Africa. So this kind of infiltration, I'm only reporting the minds and the voices of what Africans and their thoughts, and sharing it with us all, so we can analyze and like, what should we do? What is the way forward? What do you think, Africans? So I hear African firstborn saying, or lastborn saying, Black South Africans are not Africans in their brains. Same, their educational system has shattered their identity. Okay, thank you so very much for that point. Like, because of what they went through, through the years of apartheid and all that, that could have actually hindered the way they think. I think it's also a point, being saying they are not Africans in their brain is not an abuse, is not a critic, but I think it's Africa's last born is trying to say, you know, taking into consideration their history. Um, I think South Africa, which other country is having this kind of a mixture? Maybe Namibia. But if you look at all the other African countries, why the leadership is black? Because they never were politically infiltrated by, by European settlers on the continent. So I think that is the point where we can begin to empathize with South Africans and say, okay, we do understand what you went through, through the system of apartheid, but where are you leading this to? Because you're gradually going back into the system that you were running from. Or let's say the Mandela years, who came up and like, we have to give a handshake. Now it's a blue, from a black nation to a rainbow nation. So you're people of with you're a country, or a country, of course, with people of different backgrounds. You have Indians, you have white South Africans, the Africans whom you have lived with and understood yourself, and they understand that country to be their country. Like they cannot even have access back to Holland, right? They would be considered foreigners in Holland. So where do we keep this migrants that migrated into our continent? So they think the better way is, instead of cutting these kind of divisions, to work together for a common interest. Okay. So yes, I do agree that we all Africans, it's not a brain damage or anything, but suffering from a situation where you never even knew who you were. You're just getting to know that. So I think a lot of corrections will be made. But South Africans are saying, let's see, let's just wait and see what is going to happen with this new leadership. And then, because the EFF is already into the parliament, at least his foot is legally into the parliament, we're going to see a lot of changes, in the upcoming elections. So it's not just be this one-sidedness of thinking, oh, now that John Hussein is inside, so something is they just going to take over. All right, like that's not going to happen, or that's not even also in the likes of the white that are in South Africa, who have considered and has adopted South Africa to be their home. Another opinion is of the fact that, yes, but wait a minute, do you think the whites in South Africa are also comfortable if the South Africans themselves, like the indigenous South Africans, we can call that, is still, lack of jobs, most of them, or in Soweto area where they are slums? Isn't that also an image that affects them? So probably they will want to fix things up, come up together, because it's already that rainbow nation, to think collectively for a better South Africa. So all these opinions that we're just throwing out here might not be a bad idea, might even be a good time for us to push forward. But I really wanted to have Al here, and he's going to come tomorrow because he made a statement. And all these scenarios that he presented in his first presentation, everything just worked as he said it. But there was one thing that I wanted us to actually go on it, because there were scenarios that he was presenting. Now we get the first case that he said. But then he said the worst case would be in the nearest future, not just in the nearest future, that DA becomes the majority and will lead South Africa. And for him, he would think that's a better choice, because the image of South Africa concerns all South Africans, whether you're white or black. Okay, and they would think they would want to fix it. So it could be a nice thing, must not be black on black. But history teaches Africans something that they don't want to forget. The wounds are still fresh. Okay, the 30 years after Mr. Mandela, it's something like it happened yesterday. So we also need to be patient with South Africans, and all we are hoping and praying for is a better way forward. Okay, we want a strong continent. If the white people are migrating on the continent and taking the responsibility of even the mess that they caused in the past, and empower this continent for a better continent that can also position itself, not kind of segregating or considering the Black as the minority or the less better people. Why not? We can see another, another energy that is playing out in South Africa. I know a lot of my fans and followers are really like, Susan, are you serious? You know, why are the whites so concerned about South Africa? Is there something we don't know? Sister Paula is asking, why are they so concerned? Uh, Why are they so concerned in South Africa? Errol Perrier is saying South Africa is part of the Holy Land. Part of the Holy Land. What's the Holy Land? Which one is the Holy Land? Mr. Perry, please educate us. Would love to hear your opinion. Of course, Masho is saying EFF is in parliament still good. I think so too. Particularly the fact that they just got in. And I think another thing, I mean, we are overzealous, and there's nothing wrong in that. It means we were super positive to an extent that everybody knew it was going to be a EFF win. Like we were just seeing honorable, most followers were already seeing Malema as the president. Of course, he said it a couple of times, but he didn't say he's going to be that in 2024. He said, come rain, come sun, one day he would be the president of South Africa. So I think he's already made a move, a very positive move, a very powerful move. Imagine all the court cases that he had with the parliament to deal with statements and accusations that were all leveled upon him, and he had to defend himself courageously, correctly, to come up to what we are saying today. So we should not give up. I think something very good is going to happen. And yeah. So Hika is saying, sounds to me like be black. I don't, okay, thank you. Whatever, we understand that. Glad Malemba is letting the world know that history, know the history of apartheid. The education there is also colonized, just as it is in the USA. And Sylvia is saying it doesn't benefit the people. God's will be done there. Wonderful. Wonderful, Sylvia. I also think so, sister, that it doesn't matter whatever. I just think the energy that created the world, most of us are just only on this journey to represent, the energies that are there. But what's going to be would be and if even if we like or we don't like it, whatever it is opens up another door and another eye for what the continent or the people in the world are supposed to do. Like you're saying the same thing. Look at the elections also going on in America. Come on. Thank you, Sister Silva, for bringing this really up. Look at the elections, and even the former president that used to be a president is about to be impeached in America as we follow. So, what are we talking about? Okay, so like actually, it's. I don't want to use some very crazy words out here, but it's really actually like, where is it really working today in the world? Tell us. Tell us, where is it working? Where are we saying, oh no, here is better, here is not better, and that. So I think that point, that's true. That's true. That's true. My last born, what are you saying? Do black people need white to develop their country? If we follow the analogy of GNU, government should be a blessing in disguise. In disguise? It will take 50 more years to liberate the black South Africans. Okay, thank you very much. That's why we need to focus on Agenda 2063. Now we are there. It's 50 years. People, it's 50 years. I think even lesser now. So you see, when we go through that, a people driven, a country that will be given to its origin and its people to develop it. Because we don't believe that. I think from the opinions and the thoughts that are here is South Africans that actually are pro these elections or these coalitions are saying we are one. So if they see themselves they are one, that's the reason they think Why not? We can also. Any African vote for DA colonizer party is a traitor. Yes, ANC has failed, but there was an option to vote for Malema or Zuma. Exactly. That was the hope. When we gathered here last week and we saw the elections, it was already very clear. Africans, let's be honest, it was clear that for the president to actually stay in parliament or to be president, it was relevant for him to form a coalition because he didn't have the parliamentary election to be the sole leader or the ruler of South Africa. We wouldn't be having this discussion right now. We would not have been having this discussion. But there was already a problem in the way people voted, in who they wanted to see the leadership that they want in South Africa. From the votes, from the election, we could already see the division, from a former president coming up automatically with MK, with his own political party. That was already a K leg, as we can say, for ANC, right? So thank you very much. I would get back to that. Mauricia, I don't know. Do you like it? You don't like it? What have you done to your hair? All right. I plaited my hair and I did what we call the Bantu knots. Some people call it the Bantu sticks. We call it the bigidi. Bigidi is like you do your hair, wrap it. And I mean, it's a whole story with the hairdo, but we're going to get onto that some other time. Thank you very much, Mauricia. And I don't know what happened to my hair or what you think happened to my hair, Miss Grunewald, but I love my hair. I love it so much. And they're like sticks, okay, but we call it the Bantu knots anyway. This hair, I saw my mother's and my great grandmothers did it, and I just love it. So we are here actually to open up a conversation of a national unity, okay? And I'm just basically analyzing and looking from different angles how we can put our unity together beyond other negative factors, how we can leave our past behind. But of course, leaving our past doesn't mean we have to forget the stuff that we go through. Like I said, I understand everybody. Everything makes sense. Whether you say, no, it shouldn't have been like this, you have an opinion. You said, it should have been like this. What is the South Africans that all of us wish? For peace, for living together, for good living standards for South African, for a gun-free street life in South Africa, for more jobs in South Africa. I mean, we're talking today about South Africa, so don't ask me what about African countries. We're going to come to each African country. We're talking about South African. What is this spirit of unity that Africans and of all race and other nations would wish for South Africa? Like I said, we already see a lot coming up. So ANC in office for all these years and didn't take their land back, absolute failure. So you say, that's an opinion. They're like, okay, but wait a minute, let's think. Why, for all these years that you were given the opportunity for 30 years since Mr. Mandela left, right, and handed over your country to you, 30 years you've not been able to actually make South Africans even more comfortable in their space. So let's try something new. Nothing wrong in trying something new. Okay, so I think it's quite interesting. I'm really, really excited to hear what Professor James Small is going to tell us about what he feels or what he thinks should have been the right thing or what he thinks is the right way forward. But one thing we have to be certain about is whatever we think, we need unity, we need love, we need a more progressive Africa by Africans that have invested on the continent as stakeholders of Africa. We need a more better alternative. Was I just cut off? Or what is going on? What is going on? I'm trying to get Prof across, trying to get him up on. Just give me a minute, please. Oh, okay. So I'm still waiting. I'm waiting, and I'm watching. I'm watching your comments right here. And please, we are one family, one nation of people. We want a better Africa for all Africans. And if it hasn't worked in A, it can work in B, or it can work in a common A plus B. Okay. That's what Africans are expressing here. Though the frustration is big, of course, though Africans would be asking, where did we ever see that happen in which country in the world? You know, at the end of the day, we are still saying we wish South Africa a better nation, because South Africa to us is actually like the big brother, has gone through his own challenges in the past, and licked up their wounds, even though it's not really over, and are coming back with another, you know, with another face of a new South Africa. And yeah, what are we supposed to say? What are we supposed to say? Reparations. Hi, beautiful sister. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. CSS is asking. All of us are asking, you are asking, taking back the land is why Zimbabwe was sanctioned as a warning to the other countries not to take back their land. So, but we are already in. Oh, Matamera, Monica, where have you been, sister? Family here. Anyone that is in my chat is a part of this family, and I welcome you. Okay, I welcome you from all over where you're watching us, and you can contribute a lot, please. You really can contribute a lot to bring in South Africa and South Africans forward in their challenge as they're going through. Some are grieving, some are rejoicing, some are just confused. They actually don't know what is going to happen. But we know if we have a positive spirit of oneness and we know who we are, why should we be afraid at some point in time? We know that it's going to happen according to the voices of the people. All right. So I salute you, Monica. What is happening in South Africa? You're following the elections and the coalition now. We have the ANC building a unity national government with the Democratic Alliance of South Africa, from His Excellency John. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to mispronounce names. So I really like to get my names well pronounced, because I also would not like somebody to, mispronounce my name. So whatever the situation is, that's what you know. All of you are watching, even the parliament now voting, parliamentarians, House of Speakers, and stuff like that. So South Africans are happy, I guess, and we should be happy with them. Hmm. Somebody's saying, Shaka said, middle class blacks in South Africa are hopeless. I don't understand how middle class or the lower class. I hope and pray every African nation and nations with people of African descent file lawsuits for reparations from the royal families and Western nations until the coming again of Jesus. Mhm. Thank you, Sister Cheryl. Cheryl Harrowwood. Is it Sherry Penny that we used to know? Or it's just another Cheryl? Maybe we're having another Cheryl. So every nation, every African nation should file a petition, a lawsuit for reparations from the royal families and Western nations until the coming again of Jesus. All right. Thank you very much. If you could expatiate on that, I think all of us would like to know your opinion. What you mean they should file a lawsuit for reparation from, against, or from the royal families and the Western civilization? What do you mean by the royal families? Which ones? And why should they file a lawsuit for them? So Masha says, national elections is over. Now it's time to represent the masses truly. Simply meaning it's time to take the lead, whoever is leading. Let us see this coalition, how it's going to move South Africa forward and put South Africa onto the global space of maybe making concrete decisions that will benefit the whole entire continent and the image of Africa. Okay. It has not happened. It's confusing. Hope the gods and ancestors will intervene. Intervene. Okay. Thank you, Monica. Let's see what's going to happen. AS is doing the same mistake. Mandela led ANC did not accept AES change course. Nationalism of natural resources, its best way to liberate Black people after a revolution. Okay, whatever is happening, I don't know what is happening. I don't know what's happening. My camera is like acting, or the light settings is acting. I don't know what's going on, but we are good. We are fine. We are fine. From us here, I would like to maybe refresh, but auto pick again. Or we reset. Wonderful. Our image is acting. I'm so sorry. I don't know why. Because the topic itself is a very crucial one. This is just crazy. Wow. Okay. So, yeah, what? Oh my God, this is so bad now. This is really bad. Blessings, Dr. Starter. Sherry Penny. Sherry, were you the one that were here under another name? Or this is the real you? You're welcome. You're welcome. Good evening. Blessings to you. I think this is the Cheryl that we know from the Pan African Daily TV executive team. Cheryl, you're welcome. African Queen, show up in the chat room because Queen Susan Tata loves it much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think we're waiting on Professor James Small to make a statement. Um, he is at work, but he had promised to join us at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think this is the right thing to do. If not, we'll have to call it a day and make it tomorrow. You see, my image is so crazy, it's so terrible. This should not even happen. Okay, this should not happen. I don't know why. I don't know why. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute, please. Give me a minute. Why is it blurred? Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I was trying to fix the technicians were trying to fix the image, but I don't know. I wiped the lens. I don't know what's happening. Imhotep. I did. We did a couple of times. Your image will clear up. It doesn't matter. Get the message, not the image. And we're coming up with our powerful studio, okay? Digitally, we're just trying to keep these conversations or keep the house warm. But you're going to see what is going to come out of Pan African Daily in just a couple of weeks to come, okay? I already told you. Sometimes next week or in 2 weeks, I'll be sharing how the work is going on, at which point we are now. So we'll be able to have a perfect class one studio, okay? 2.0, everything perfect. And we'll be having guests fly in, like conversations like this. It's going to be a face-to-face live studio, but we're also going to be taking you on digital. So don't think we're going to throw you away. Yeah, so I'm not bothered about whatever is happening right now, okay? I'm not bothered about my image. I'm not bothered about anything. What is very important is we want to share our solidarity with the people of South Africa, and a win for South Africa as a united a continent moving forward its citizens is a win for the entire continent of Africa. Let's not make any mistake about that. Okay. It might have been a foolish decision. It might have been because of the past history of South Africa and Africa as a whole. And I think any other person would empathize or also understand people that are saying, no, Africa is for Black Africans, give back our land because of the history that has brought us this far. Imagine if we were good partners and good neighbors. I mean, Europe and Africa are the closest neighbors, closest. So why would it have been different? Africans are just mistrustful because, of course, of what happened in their past. And if somebody had done this to you, no matter how much Jesus he asked for forgiveness, the wound will still be there. The nails on the fingers of those that believe in Jesus that were crucified, the nails was still on their finger, on the wounds of the nails was still visible. Okay, so no matter how we try to play it, no matter how we want to like just say, yeah, we don't know. Of course, your ancestors also say we were not part of it. Our Germans are also saying, we're sorry, that was something that was done from our ancestors. Do you want to punish us, seat of those ancestors, because you think we're also bad? So I think the world is really wanting to believe in peace, in harmony, in love, in forgiveness, looking at what unites us more than what divides us. You know, but keeping an eye on the truth, okay, that some things should not happen again. I don't know yet. Shaka, you know I love you too. This is not a politicking or double standards kind of thing. But I'm trying to look at the realistic picture, regardless of how painful, how hurtful it is. I'm trying to look at the common future of us both, whether it's a win or a loss. Sometimes we know history is going to repeat itself, isn't it? That is why I really wanted expert that will break it down like Farouk did last time. I think he gave us already, and I'm really truly grateful. I was already demotivated last time when he was giving the scenarios that we're seeing today. I was one of the person that I was so sick at heart. I like, no, Farouk, all these scenarios, this and this and this, we don't want it. And he's like, but I'm sorry, this is what is going to happen because the ANC itself is divided. And now South Africans will say, yeah, it's divided because, of course, it's been infiltrated through many, many actions or whatever. We need each other. We need each other the world over. Yeah, that's not the point, Marshall. It's. I don't think it's a problem of the contrast or whatever. It just spins sometimes. So don't worry. We're gonna get a powerful studio. Don't worry, okay? Yeah, we don't need permission to be compensated. That's so true. We don't need permission to be compensated. Who still benefits from art from us? So I think the world would definitely come to the point, Cheryl. I'm totally with you. I think the world is gradually coming. We already see, even when we started talking about our artifacts in these Western museums, and how some of them started reacting, like the UK trying to send back the Benin bronze, and Germany was also actually finding and working with kingdoms. I saw two chiefs from Cameroon, from the Fumban community, that visited their royal stool that was taken during the colonial times, and it's in the Berlin Museum. I also saw another chief from the Sotland, okay, whose queen mother stool and stolment was stolen during the colonial times of the Germans and taken to Germany, and it's there to today. But the German government has invited this to chiefs and talked with them and spoke with them and negotiated whatever negotiations they made. So it is the decision of the chiefs now to say, I want it back or I don't want it. Or it is also the decision of the citizens to say, you know what, chief, we're working together. I mean, as a matter of fact, you're serving us as a nation. So this is what we want. So, but how many years did we ever hear something like that? We'd never heard of anything like that. We never heard anything in the past till after 2020 when we started, Africans started raising up their voices. So I think the period of renaissance is here, whether we like it or not. Whatever is playing in your sight, and you don't want it to happen that way, you know what, the collective spirit of goodness and the energy that we propose, we said love would always lead, and the good people would prosper, and truth would stand out, whether you like it or not. Truth would come to happen, you know. Yeah, no equality, no peace. That's so true, John Africa. You, Kojo, you're right. No truth, no peace. So there's no peace for the wicked. You're only sorry because you got caught. Go on and take your bow, but it's now over, Rihanna. Mm. You're only sorry because you got caught. That's a soundtrack of Rihanna, of Riri. Okay. The DA has never been pro Africa. They are pro US and Europe. They look down on Africa. Biggest blunder by the ANC. Thank you for your comment, Marsh 27247 TK. And I think we are really going to get a super good lectures tomorrow. Okay, let's just calm down. We have heard from one another. We have listened. We have seen the frustrations, and it's gonna go on. But as a matter of fact, it's peaceful. In the first things, we have been seeing some other scenarios, and we're still waiting to see these leaders give an official statement how they want to roll. Like I said, look outside of Africa. It's the same scenario. So at a certain point, I don't think ANC or Africans are dumb or they're stupid or they don't know what they want. But I also think it's the energy that is controlling the world at the moment. But we do know truth will prevail. Okay? Yeah, we're also looking up to Big Brother America to see how better they're going to do through the elections so that we can be learning and see from good examples. Okay, so they're also struggling. So it's not just Africa. We see it everywhere, even Europe. Okay, Europe is struggling. I was just watching a news with France and Italy. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing going on. A rainbow nation. That's South Africa, a rainbow nation. That's our people. Okay, that's our people right there. Yeah, so I want to thank all of you. I think it's 45 minutes. I've never been so short to have a conversation and a nice time with you. But because we didn't have our guest connect in because of blackouts in Ghana, Ghana is really a problem, honestly. Ghana is a problem when it comes to light and internet. I don't know what's actually going out there. Sister Monica is saying Middle East is a mess. Of course, it's also in a very big turmoil, and we see even terrible things out happening there. The killings. I don't think we wish that ever for Africa, regardless of what is going to happen. Regardless of what is going to happen, we still need a peaceful situation where we can mobilize ourselves again. Like most South Africans are saying, we think EFF in the parliament is going to make a good deal. And if his policies are good, South Africans will buy it. And so I think we're going to see a lot of scenarios come out. But for the first time, let's see this black and white married. Let's experience this black and white married. Okay. Today, democracy. Fred Bantu is saying today democracy is money in South Africa. They use divide and rule. Get funds and new political parties. Everywhere, brother, my brother, everywhere. I think it's just the same thing that we just say, we the people. we the people, not belonging to any political parties or divisions, but just be there for humanity and work together as a people. Okay. So, yeah, Heru, it's the same. I'm very happy. I'm happy. You know what? I'm happy because we are beginning to see to not give ourselves, oh my God, this is so bad, to not give ourselves a bad name because we're caught with shit in our mouth when all the dogs are eating shit. So we begin to see other nations that are worse, terribly worse than us, and we can say, hey, Africa, we're doing good. We can have an election that without people going on the street killing each other, without even South Africans going against the white and say, oh, why do you want a white in a parliament or would be the vice president or whatever, or a coalition. There's peace out there. And peace is what we need. Even we have to keep learning every day, because a tactic comes up today doesn't mean that it can change tomorrow. All right. So as to go back to the point, if the coalition would better the standard of living of South Africans, if the coalition is going to better the image of Africa and put Africa on the global map, if this coalition is going to create jobs and opportunities, if this coalition is going to solve the issue of crimes, so definitely they had to be a both. So, because if only one was in parliament, the other would be the one that was manipulating and causing all these havocs so as to be on the table. Let's see what's going to happen. We have to pray for them. We just have to pray. That's what Cheryl teaches me. Dr. Tata, we just have to pray. I say we have to drink water, mind our business. We really, really going. I don't know how to say it, but like I said, I want my experts to be here. When they will be here, we will understand what is going on. But I want to sympathize with all of us because nobody wanted this to happen. That's a fact. Farouk said it. What did you learn from Mr. Mandela? Fought for 27 years, gave up his life to say no. South Africa is a black land, and we can manage ourselves like we used to do before you came to invade us. If we were a nobody, if we were not working hard, if we were not uplifting our economies, you would not even have left us to come and invade us, to steal our land, to kill our people by force. It was not a walk in a park. It was not what we're talking about today. So I truly understand. I absolutely truly understand that we should be frustrated, particularly in the new agenda that we're coming up with. I don't know what to say. But what I know is truth, and you can never bury it. You can never kill it. And what I know is anything that you did will come back to you. You cannot get it. You cannot have it both ways and walk away with it. Doesn't matter what you think development is. It is the heart that matters. Okay. So with that, we can boldly go ahead, and that was why I was telling you we have to concentrate. We have to put a focus. Yes, we're living our daily lives, but let's see Agenda 2063 as the way forward and how we're going to merge and work together as African nations. Okay, backing up each other. Today, I'm not sure there's any news. I've been tuning and watching other, other African news channels to even hear. But you see, they're reporting about what's going on in Middle East, in America, in Europe, and everything. But what is going on the continent, people seem to like. It's no news. So I think, thank you. Thank you. I know Africa last born. What do you want me to say? Africa last born. Do you want me to say, please carry all your bags and your weapons? Let's meet in South Africa. I'm the mother. I have to look for the way not to continue to keep you in tears. It doesn't matter how it hurts. Our African mother we always would like to, pamper our children. So what do you want me to say? I mean, I'm so sorry. Anything that you expect of me tonight is difficult because I myself, I'm also still thinking, is that the right decision? And that's why we all need our voices to speak on a common agenda, the one that is going on. You see, my image is coming back because you people are talking, because you people are asking a lot of questions right here. JC, JC said 263 is too far away. Black people need freedom now and today. It's happening already. I think that's just a narrative, and I've been doing a couple of lectures on it or information about it, and I don't see it as 63. Don't be caught up in that number because what Africans want is happening right now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, CNS. Yes. I like the way you're consoling each other. That's the spirit that we have here in in Pan African Daily TV. It's the same thing. Please just go follow our Facebook page. It's the tears are unstoppable because most of them, of course, on the continent, they follow us more. And I will start at 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock news or these conversations on the continent now because most young people or when they're retiring from work, particularly on Saturday and Sunday, they just want to get in touch with us. And most often they've been writing and say, Dr. Tata, we love this program. We like to be a part. But, most of those times that you're streaming actually did not fit with our own times at home. So we also will be doing the version in the afternoon for them, because if you go to the Facebook Pan African Daily page, it's like it's just broken. Ever since PK dropped this information this afternoon, people are totally devastated. They so disgruntled, like it should have never happened the way it happened now. They were looking for another situation like, it's going to send a whole message that Africans can never lead and they can never rule their people, you know, all these divisions. What should I say? What do you want me to tell you? Thank you, Mr. Parker. Of course, who says we can't be ahead of a schedule? We can't. So I love you all. And yeah, we're rounding up because I think Professor James cannot connect. Al Wahab cannot connect. I've just tried to inspire you, wipe your tears, those that are crying, those that are really shocked by the decision going on. And honestly, just sleep over it. By this weekend, next week is going to be something else. I think we'll be having new inspirations from what is coming out there, and it won't be the same. Let's look also with the lectures that we wanted to have with Traore Ibrahima of Burkina Faso, how they're feathering. Let's focus also on the positive of Senegal that is actually constructing its oil mill. And we saw the president going from school to school, trying to motivate the school children and saying, I am here to make you a better future. I mean, that's one of the things that no matter what is happening in North, East, West, Center, there's still a lot of good things that we can pick on and just water our hearts and cool down. Okay? Cool down, just drink water. Drink a lot of water. A solution is going to come very soon. So I thank you so much. And we're going to relax. It's breaking, it's heartbreaking, it's just an hour. Of course, I still like breathe it out, breathe it out. Not because I'm against white South Africans, no, but just because the vision of the Pan-Africans and Pan-Africanism is sending another message out across to the world. And like this time again, oh, they can't even do it. But we know we can, but the systems that we're working on, the systems of governance that we actually bring in on the continent from the modern combination of the ancient Africa, you also have to understand it's hard. It's hard. We need a lot of times to overcome. Ooh, yeah, but we shall, we shall. Maj, I love you too. We love you, Dr. Tata. You're the best and hope to see you in South Africa soon. Of course, South Africa, the continent is our home. You know, I was there in Cape Town. You know that. And I was there recently, but unannounced. Okay. So I hope to be in Johannesburg, but I'll let you know because we have to meet this time face to face. We're just not going to be doing digitally much. We're going to meet ourselves, okay, and chill and enjoy our Africa rather than thinking about the negative. We're just gonna be, you know. Thank you, Patricia. Patricia, it's been long, sister. How are you? And when we started hosting again, I was just asking something is missing, and I even text and asked, "Have you heard from Miss Matthews?" Nobody was saying anything. Now you're here. Thank you, sister. It's been a while. We're happy to be here. We're happy to have you here. Think about how it could have been completed rather than how could we be defeated. Thank you so very much, Miss Parker, Mr. Parker. I love your inspirations. I love it. Share. Marshall, if it's only you, your 10 minutes will never be over. Come on, Marshall. This is not my conversation. It was Professor James and James' conversation and Farouk Al Wahab. I'm just sitting here to say, let's cry together, you know. Thank you, Miss Matthews. I'm so happy to know that you're doing wonderful and wonderful to see you back, sister. Thank you so very much. We love you. We missed you here. I know your contribution here. I know. Reparations. Tell me something good before we go to bed. We can dry our tears in 3 days. People, 3 days, tears off. All right, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. But of course, we need to sleep. We need to sleep over it. We need to drink a lot of water to water out, and nothing is gonna go wrong. Honestly, Tonio, I also missed you. You, who did you miss? Me or Miss Matthew? Who did you miss? Call our names out. I love to be missed too. Okay. Mm, Um, you are right. Yes, wait. That's not the comment I wanted. I wanted the one from Brother Mamale, who said, Mamle, Zimbabwe is on the right African part. What do you mean by that? This is something interesting. Because they have their currency or what? Why are you saying that? Ramasodi, tell us more. You can call in the studio, but not today, okay? All right, I think I got your 10 minutes going on. People, let us meet here tomorrow again because the 3 days of talking about this, I don't think people just had wanted us to like, oh yeah, yeah, now we are on it. Let's just talk about the way forward because we are here on the Pan African Daily TV to seek solutions to our challenges by Africans for Africa. Okay, so we love everything positive, anything that brings us further. We've cried too long. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Thank you. Are you still on the travel, Tony? I saw you with the boys. They're growing so big. Wow. Every day. Okay. Now, Monica, you're showing your face because Ramasodi is, oh my God, Africans. Monica, I was asking, you didn't say anything. Now that Ramasodi said, yeah, you said, yes, yes, very true. We have what currency, our land. Oh my God, Monica, you cannot even hide. You cannot pretend. That's good. A little chipping away at an obscured rock. Yeah. Somebody teaches something good, something for us to be at peace with one another. If you have a lesson to teach us, please teach us tomorrow, okay? A way forward for Saturday. So tomorrow we'll be live. I definitely will go live early in the afternoon first for another, to really meet up with my youth, because right now from here I'm diving into TikTok. TikTok, my followers more than 100,000 are complaining that we just so focused on the community on YouTube, on the community on Facebook, and and Queen Dr. Tata is coming in, to just have a conversation with them. So I'll be giving them also this piece that we've done here in just 10-20 minutes. If you still say, I want to see how our TikTok page looks like, so you can join us too. All right, so we see us tomorrow, people. Farouk would definitely be here. If not, Professor Baina Bello could be here. Let me check our calendar, and then we see how we go together, isn't it? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Clap for ourselves. We are brave. We're doing the right thing. We're fighting for peace and unity and togetherness, all of us for one common vision. So I thank you so very much. And we see us. For me, I smile all the time. Nothing is gonna steal away my smile. Nothing. I've been through 99. What is one? You see, we've been through 99. What is one? Doesn't make any difference. So thank you, people. Good night and stay blessed. Sleep well, be comforted, be motivated. Nothing is gonna happen soon. And we just hope for the best for all of us. Okay. Greetings to all your family, your kids, your great, 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 great grandkids, and your environment and everybody. I'll see you in South Africa. Honestly, I can't wait. I'll see us in South Africa. Uganda is waiting. Every other person is waiting. So we'll be meeting, okay? But just smile and say a prayer and pray for one another and pray for our nation, Africa, and pray for the world, okay? At some point in time, you are the mothers of humanity. There's no way you can do that. So good night to all of you. Bye-bye. I love you all. We see us tomorrow. Tuko pamoja. You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want. Unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherland's calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa. Thank you. Good night.